let's move presentation on screen now. There. And now I can share my screen. In this stage as well. Audience, show request. Can I do this? Wait, does the stage? I might be stupid. How do I? Can I not share my screen in the stage? Yeah, it might be. Maybe you can't do it. Well, that sucks. Okay, I'm just gonna move to community one. That's fine. Oh wait, I can share. Okay, we're just gonna end the stage. That was a disaster. That's fine though. We'll just go in community one and screen share from here. There we go. Right. All right, it is 5 o'clock. Thank you everybody for joining me. This is going to be the Brock Esports Town Hall. The date is July 30th, 2021. Thank you people in Twitch chat, YouTube chat, the Discord, and I know a lot of you couldn't make it. So hello to everybody watching this recording. Let me turn off this music. Wait, that's the wrong one. Oh no. There. Okay, the music's off. So, what is the purpose of this talk?
It's 5 p.m.
Okay. I want to explain the processes and limits of running an esports club in the current environment, sort of show you the factors that are shaping what we can and cannot do. I want to lay out a roadmap and sort of the plans for this year. So how we're going to move forward going into September and the fall semester, and sort of where we want to go past there, what our opportunities are, sort of the threats and the priorities for the club, as well as the goals, both long-term and short-term. And then finally, I want to collect feedback from you. A lot of what we've done over the summer has been sort of in the shadows, and I think that's been for good reason. I didn't want to show a lot of what we were doing just because it was super early, but as things are progressing, it makes more sense to show more of the club, really the state of Brock Esports in a good way. So questions. I will be answering all questions at the end of the presentation. Anything that you may have. If you are watching this on Discord, feel free to post questions in the BU General chat. If you're watching live on Twitch, the chat is being monitored and you can ask questions there. If you're watching the recording, which many of you will be, message me, Mighty4248 in Discord, or feel free to email brockesports@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So in-person events. I'm sure all of you are really excited to get back and see people in person. However, there are some issues surrounding this. Brock Esports is, or not Brock Esports, Brock University is looking to have most people back on campus for the September, in September. Because we are in a student-run club, we represent a higher risk for spreading COVID, and thus we are a lower priority in being able to reopen. Our time frame, what we've heard from BUSU administrators, the university, and sort of insiders in the Brock faculty, is that we're really looking to start doing in-person events in late October or early winter. October at really the earliest and winter at the latest, pending some crazy change in COVID stats. So we're really excited for events despite the sort of unfortunate time frame. As many of you guys know, we weren't able to do anything whatsoever in person last semester because of BUSU restrictions, which we'll touch on in a second. We are excited to get back because that will happen this semester. We want to take lots of photos of you guys. If you guys have looked through our Experience BU page or Facebook page, you'll notice that there are not very many photos of Brock Esports players. And that's not because we haven't all come together and done cool things in the past. It's just because esports players really suck at taking photos. So a lot of events are lost forever or only have like 2 pictures still in existence of each event, unfortunately. So LANs are currently also being planned for this winter and next summer by other universities. So there's a very good chance that at least by the winter we'll get the chance to compete in some LANs and we'll have a lot of fun. Now, I want to sort of explain why we haven't been able to do any in-person events so far. And this was also going to touch on sort of this restrictions that Brock clubs are put in. We really wanted to do events last year, and we asked Busu, but they wouldn't allow us. Why wouldn't they allow us to do events, or why couldn't we just go around them? Well, every Brock club's event that any Brock club wants to do has to be submitted to CIRMA. CIRMA is just a risk management system owned by Busu, where you submit an event, all of the details, the name of the event, the risk levels, the type of event that you're going to do. Is it going to be something like paintball, which might be a little bit riskier? Is it going to be playing video games online? That's, obviously not very risky. Or is it something like going to a restaurant outdoors and eating, I don't know, sandwiches, right? Every single thing that a Brock club does has to be submitted through CIRMA. That means that every single scrim, even as something as small as a scrim, has to be submitted to CIRMA and approved before we're allowed to actually go forward with that event or even start promoting that event. Our club would get shut down if we were to do anything outdoors or together in person as a club. Thus, we cannot do that. So that's sort of the restriction that we're working with. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, let's see. So what are we currently working on right now? And by right now, I mean over the summer. This is stuff that's currently in the process of happening. And a lot of this is really excited. Let me just check. Okay. So preparing the funding and outline for the fall semester. So I'm going to go over how the funding works, what we kind of ask for, what we're allowed to ask for, what we can get, the website. So Brock Esports is going to be launching a new and improved website. Some of you may know that a website's been in operation for about the past year, but it's been kind of useless. It's been poorly designed, and we're completely redoing it and making it actually useful. We are releasing merch, which is very exciting, and a little design contest. We're also going to talk about how you guys can acquire jerseys. Very cool. And then the Brock Esports Referendum, which is by far the most ambitious project that we've been working on for, I guess, the last year. There's a lot to go into this, but one thing I will preface the whole talk. I'll say that this is not confirmed yet. There's a lot of things that could still go wrong. So please do not get your hopes up, okay? And I really want to emphasize that this is not guaranteed by any means. I'm going to be talking about a lot of cool things, but don't count on this necessarily for this year, although it could go through by the winter. It's just something we're working on, but we'll talk on that in a second. And then also we're going to be planning tournaments. We're trying to stick to our goal of one larger tournament per month, and then a bunch of smaller events interlaced every now and then. So, oh boy, the referendum is right away. I didn't realize I put this. Also, just I finished this quickly. Sorry about sort of the formatting, and I'm sure there are errors here because I did all of this pretty quickly. If something isn't laid out properly, feel free to ask a question. I'm sure I'm putting a lot of information here, and it's not fully laid out. And a lot of this sort of assumes that you guys already know a lot about the inner workings of Brock and Busu. So if you have questions, again, I urge you, please message me, post in, whatever. Move your camera to the bottom left. Oh, I'm blocking something. Okay, thank you, my dude. Yeah, that's actually a way better. This template was made for the bottom left. Yeah, okay, there we go. Let me just check in Discord. Make sure. Okay, we're chilling. Okay. So the referendum. Where do I start with this? There's so much. if we pass a referendum, we will become a varsity esports program. What does a varsity esports program mean? That's a program with official recognition from the school, usually a full-time program lead, like with full-time salary, a paid program lead. They usually offer scholarships, and they usually have a dedicated space in the university. Those are sort of the core tenets. The definition of a varsity program is a little bit loose, but in essence, it means that you have a fuck ton of money. So I'm trying not to swear, my bad. Yeah, so we're trying to pass that. How do referendums work at Brock? Well, we have to present to the Brock University Student Administrative Council and ask if we can be housed under student life and become an official part of the student life program at Brock. Why do we have to do this? Well, if we're a club and we're student run, that means we're kind of independent from Brock University and kind of independent from Brock Busu, and they don't like that because that means fraud is way easier to be committed, and fraud has taken place before. So they want you to be an official entity, housed under them, and responsible to them, and get audited by them is the main one. So if BUSAC says yes, and we can join student life, or it doesn't have to be student life, but can be any Brock faculty or department. If they say yes, we present to the BUSU Board of Directors and ask if we can put our referendum up to a vote. If they say yes, we go straight to a vote. If they say no, all we have to do is get 1,500 students. I don't know why it's 1,500. I think it's an arbitrary number. But 1,500 signatures saying that students want a Brock Esports program of some kind to exist. Once one of those two things happens, every student is sent a voting link in their Brock mailbox. You've seen these before. They've come in the forms of executive elections. It's the same style. And then baked into that are referendums that you guys probably don't read. You just randomly vote yes or no on them. We're trying to do that, right? But here's the main part, and I should have explained this at the top, but we're going to be asking for a certain amount of money. So for us, we're thinking around $2 per credit per undergrad student per semester, okay? I don't know why it's formatted that way, but since there are about 80,000 credits per year that are taken at Brock, give or take, will be at around $200,000 a year. That math didn't make sense, but the way we're doing it, we're looking at about $200,000 a year in funding if the referendum we've already proposed goes through. Now, every undergrad student has the choice to vote, and 20% of the students need to vote for the vote to be valid. That means about 3,800 students have to vote in the election. That only means that, quick maths, 1,900 students have to say yes to the proposal, which isn't that many. And then 51% of the votes, if they're in our favor, then we win. So it's pretty good. Two other quick notes. Every referendum that has ever been put forward at Brock University has passed after, at minimum, 1 year. Okay? So the track record is on our side. Also, cool fact, we're the first club that has ever tried to do this. The closest thing has been Brock TV, and Brock Radio, I guess, but those weren't really clubs. So we're kind of breaking new ground here. It's pretty cool. Let me just go back one thing. Brock Esports sucks as a club. There are a lot of systems, especially things like CIRMA and sort of the funding system, which don't really work well in like an esports environment for a lot of reasons. So sort of breaking out and becoming our own separate program would be really huge for us. And there's more to touch on there, but I'll continue. You guys are free to ask questions if you're curious about specifics. The website. So I'm really excited about the website for a lot of reasons. The number one being recruiting. It kind of sucks to send people to Discord, especially people who aren't like hardcore gamers. I know all of you are complete degenerates that spend 12 hours a day playing video games, but not everybody's like that, and not everybody has Discord on their PC and their third monitor open 24/7 like I do. So sending people to a new site to register and stuff sucks. Sending them to a website is way better and way better for recruits. Discord also has some like sort of structural limitations. It's great for chatting and stuff and community building, but it sucks for keeping track of forums, FAQ stuff, rules, keeping track of event dates, giving info on different teams, and then info for sponsors and, I don't know, Brock faculty and press and stuff like that. It's just not built for that. And we're also building out a merch section. This is something that we've kind of been working on in part for the last year. We have a merch section on the Arma store, but a lot of the things we offer there don't really work for the use we want it. That's vague on purpose. So we're building out a more general merch store with really cool merch. Jerseys will be sold separately. We're going to have separate orders in bulk because the shipping on jerseys is very expensive, but the jerseys are super high quality. So we're just going to do like one shipment a year, and that's sort of how that's going to work. We'll get back to the merch in a second. And there we are, right, the merch. Okay, so we're going to be hosting a merch design contest. I want to do this, and I think it would be really fun. We have merch suppliers set up. We have shipping logistics in some ways set up, or at least partnerships. We just want some cool designs. Now we have the basic designs. We have our logos and stuff, but I wanted to make something that is really cool, really high quality, something we all want to wear, and sort of sourced from the community. So later this week, maybe later today, I'm going to be putting up details about the merch competition. Not everything's figured out yet, but the idea is I want the best graphic designers in the server to try and create a logo, create some design that is really cool that we can put on a t-shirt or a hat or some other merch that'll be listed. And the person who has the coolest thing will get some percent of some percent of the profit that we generate from the merch. And we already, we have quite a few people that I think are pretty interested in buying merch. So that'll be an insignificant, insignificant amount of money that you would make, but also you'd have your logo immortalized in the first ever Brock Esports merch drop. So that'd be pretty cool, I think. Okay, here is another big question. How does funding work at Brock? Because this affects everybody here. This affects what we're able to do, the events we're allowed to run, and how much events and prizes and stuff we're allowed to give out. This is something you guys should probably know, and it's really confusing. And it's another system that doesn't really work super well. It doesn't work super well in an esports environment. It's just sort of how it is. So we're going to start with, what is BUSU? Well, BUSU is the Brock University Student Union. It's a separate entity from Brock University, and it's partially comprised of full-time adult employees and paid elected student representatives. But you guys all knew that. Well, how do they pay for all of these people? Well, you know how I talked about the referendums a minute ago? Well, they're back. Brock BUSU is paid for completely by referendums from students. So you're paying something like $30 per credit per semester to fund the Brock University Student Union. I bet you didn't know that. And we're going to add $2 to that. Let's go. Well, actually, it'd be in a different pot. You're paying way more than that just to other services. But that's besides the point. So clubs get $4 per credit per semester from every undergraduate student at Brock. That's about, let's say $400,000 a year. Actually, it's this much money. So Brock also has currently 105 ratified clubs. Last year they had about 200, and that's divided not evenly, but let's say about evenly-ish to all of these clubs. And then it also pays for other services sort of to support these clubs. So the club's director, staff, and training events and stuff like that. And then here you can just see sort of all of the fees. You can go back and watch that if you're, on YouTube. So how do we actually get money? Well, Busuu asks clubs to submit 2 proposals per year, one in the fall semester and one in the winter semester. Okay, you can only submit 1 per semester. That's really important. If you change your mind, you can't do anything about it. So clubs must document, for each of these proposals, clubs must document every single purchase they want to make with Busuu money, and then present BUSAC a full proposal and itemized list of these things. So let's say we want to go to a LAN, but that LAN didn't happen last year. It just pops up in, let's say, November, but we already submit, or they first announced themselves in November and they planned for December, but we already submitted our proposal in September. This is getting confusing, but it would just mean that because we didn't list that LAN as an expense, and the related expenses, let's say travel, let's say tournament registration, then we couldn't go because we didn't list it. Another reason why esports doesn't work super well in the system. And the main reason why this is sort of important right now is because with in-person events happening, Busuu has already told us that they're going to say no to every expense related to in-person events for us. Or not just for us, for clubs. However, if we wait till, let's say, late August or late September, we'll know whether or not Busuu will be allowing events in around that time. What I'm trying to say is it's best for us right now to wait as long as we can for that reason until we know for sure when we'll be able to go back in person. Your video space, is it? No, it's not. Are you sure? Oh no, I didn't press transition. Oh, what a disaster. OBS Studios failed me. Oh my god. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, my dude. Wow, that sucked. It's fine though. Yeah, so Busuu, we have to wait on our club funding. We're incentivized to wait as long as we possibly can, but it is what it is. Now, I should have put more in this document so I could sort of keep myself focused, but here's some things I want to say. Busuu is willing to pay for a lot of things, but they make hard lines on certain other things. When live events happen, they tend to pay for food. They like to pay for travel. In person, they'll help subsidize some expenses like t-shirts or jerseys. However, in an online environment, they don't see the return on investment of that in terms of branding because people aren't really seeing the t-shirt. It's just sort of for you, so they won't cover those expenses. So the nature of the expenses that they cover change drastically depending on whether we're full online or whether we are partially
in person. There were a lot of things we're also hoping to buy this semester in terms of equipment, so laptops, game consoles, games, stuff like that. But again, that's stuff that would really only make sense if we're in person context. So we're really held up. So just for now, Brock Esports is really strapped for cash because we can't make those types of purchases. Moving on. So here's sort of a roadmap for September. None of this is set in stone because, again, we don't really know what's going on. Brock doesn't even know what's going on. That's the main thing. But we're hoping to launch the website on August 25th. The residence move-in day is on September the 4th. The reason why that's notable is because if we're in person, clubs are asked to help move residence people into their residences, and in exchange we get a table at the vendor fair, and then the vendor fair is September 5th to 6th, and again, that's only happening there. That's not confirmed to be happening yet. We know that to be for sure. The O Week and event stuff is September 3rd through 8th. Brock Busu doesn't know what they're doing for a week. They don't know if they're online or partially online. We're going to be doing an event with the Brock residences, but that's going to be online. And then we're also hoping to do a really big tournament event, like a welcome event. We're still, we want feedback on that. We want to know what you guys want to see. Last year we did Valorant, and it actually went really well. I was really happy with it. The stream was fun. The games were close. But if you guys wanted to see a different game, then, let us know, and we'll sort of build around your preferences. Let's see. First day of class is September 7th. The fall tryouts will be September 7th to September 14th. Now, this isn't going to be every single game. The Call of Duty team is going to be doing their tryouts in the winter semester, and I think it's possible that a few other teams will be delaying their tryouts into the later months. But the majority of the teams will be trying to form during that first week and weekend. Tryouts will be held closer together this time. Last year we did them all on different days, but this year they'll be held, multiple of the tryouts will be held on the same day. If you're going to be trying out for multiple teams, make sure you talk to the team captains or the team leads that will be listed in the announcements chat closer to September. The merch drop is going to be around September 20th. Now that date is super not confirmed, but that's what we're going to be hoping to do. Hopefully you can bring some Brock Esports pride into your classes. Let everybody know that you're the coolest kid in class with your newly designed piece of merch. Staff and support setup, we're hoping to have this done by October 1st. That just means that our data analytics people and hopefully our production people will be fully set up and able to do events sort of as, not a full-time thing, but as on a regular basis. Reading week's October 11th to 15th, and then we're hoping to do a cool October event, hopefully something IRL. That's sort of the best outcome, but at this point, I think it might be a little optimistic, but we'll see. Goals for the year. So, the first goal, we're really hoping to crank up our production. Content was, it was good last year, but it wasn't as consistent as it could have been. Some of our content got lost. And then we missed a lot of opportunities to stream some of the really cool events. Everything was also online, so that hurt us a little bit. But this year, we're hoping to ramp up production into hyper speed. That analogy didn't make any sense. But yeah, we're looking to create a full production and casting team. Hopefully we can do something like a podcast, would be really fun, and do a lot of that type of stuff. We also want to obviously run IRL events. That's what everybody's been asking for, what everybody's been waiting for, what I've really been excited for. Believe me when I tell you that we're trying to do this as fast as we possibly can. We are getting turned down every time we ask, and we've been given very, very little. We just haven't been given a timeline on when we can do this, unfortunately. We also have other stuff riding on that, but we can get into that later. We're also pushing for the Brock Esports referendum and advocating for a transaction to a varsity program. We're hoping to win at LAN, crush SGL, maybe go to the CNE. All of these things are probably going to be happening closer to the winter or next summer. But if you're in a Brock Esports team, we'll make sure to bring you out. Team people always get priority for LAN, and it's a lot of fun. And Brock will probably help subsidize your trip and stuff, which is really cool of them. And then finally, we want to build out sort of our coaching program and our data analytics team to make sure that playing on a Brock Esports team is a learning experience. You're getting like productive game time, and you're becoming a better person and a better gamer at the same time. You're not just degenerately gaming. That's sort of our goals for our players. So we're hoping we can integrate some maths and even get you face quality time with professional coaches that we can hopefully pick up on Fiverr or whatever, like pro gamer coaches, retired coaches, stuff like that, or ex-pro players. So we're hoping to do that. It should be really cool. Let's see. Work with us. Are you interested in becoming a Brock Esports employee? I can't say employee because that that implies you get paid. You don't get paid. A volunteer. Well, in August, we're going to be opening applications for you to participate as a volunteer, not a staff. So join Brock Esports, executive or staff team. We're always looking to expand our team. If you're interested in any of the positions down here below, please reach out to me or email brockesports@gmail.com. The sort of the positions that we are really, really looking for. Graphic designer, event planning and organization, partnerships, social media, marketing recruitment, streaming and production, casting, and data analytics. There's no limit to how many of those people we need. If you have experience, or even if you don't have experience, you're just passionate, reach out and we would love to talk to you. We're hoping that you can commit about 5 hours per week if you choose to take on one of these positions and contribute something, a little something every single week to make the club better. We're currently working on redoing the way that we interact with staff, taking it off Discord and making it a little bit better into sort of a task management workspace, just so we have sort of more clear communication and a better idea of what staff are actually doing, and so that we can sort of like share with everybody the priorities and stuff like that. It's gonna be great. So if you want to make Brock Esports an even better place than it is right now, reach out. Okay, let me just check, make sure. Wait, is my mic working? Hello? When did? Okay. Can somebody tell me if the mic is working? It's working? Piggy, you good? Let me play the music. Wait. Okay, my headset stopped working. I wonder if... Okay, wait. Is it working now? Okay, my headset died, but I was playing off my blue. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're good now for sure. I was just trying to get people to work for me, so we don't have to repeat that. You get the idea. Work for me. Work for us. Work for Brock Esports. Let's see. Can we go back? Okay, we're good. So, what are sort of our future plans, our longer term goals? So these are things that aren't really in place for right now, but kind of where we're going. Well, the referendum is going to open so many doors if it goes through. Let me reiterate, it's not guaranteed yet. There's so many things that can go wrong in this. But if it does go through, we can do like scholarships. We can have like our own dedicated space. We have a ton of money to play with. We can send people to lands in different like countries and stuff. Now this is way post-COVID, but we can do so much cool stuff, and there's no limit to what we can do. We can actually compete with like US teams, and we'll be one of the best funded clubs in Ontario, if not, no, we're never going to beat SGL, or Saints Gaming, but we'll be like the second, which is pretty sick. So next year, we are also going to be looking to build a for-profit esports / STEM summer camp thing. It's just for-profit so that we can be separate from the Brock Busu ecosystem and sort of avoid dealing with the regulations. This could also possibly be run under the Brock Esports program if we do pass the referendum and get housed under an official department. It just sort of depends how things go. But this will also be useful for generating a little bit extra revenue. And this is especially important if the referendum doesn't go through. If it does go through, then we sort of have different goals with it, and we can change it a little bit. I want to obviously build out something really high quality, so we're not going to rush this. It's just something that's in the works. And then we also have dedicated spaces sort of on the horizon. We've have an informal partnership so far with the Loft's residents. They've offered us space to do esports programs or esports events in. COVID is stopping us from doing that right now, but there are some smaller issues with using the space. We can't put in any permanent equipment just because we have to share this space with the residents there. We have been offered, it's possible they retract this, but we've been offered space at the Busu building, currently projected to be completed in 2028. So that's kind of far away. We do have like smaller leads with different places. Money can also buy us places if the referendum goes through again. And our options open up then. But yeah, the space is happening. It's just a matter of when. Q&A. So I've rambled on. Sorry if there were a lot of half points there. Hopefully you guys gained something from this. If you have any questions, send me feedback or ideas. Send me a DM. You can @ me publicly on the Brock Esports Discord, or you can send an email to brockesports@gmail.com. You can also annoy my lovely administrators, Arctic Piggy or Bavin. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Anybody who has questions, feel free to post them in the Brock General Chat, or speak in the Discord server, or ask them on Twitch. So go ahead. If you have any. Thank you, Piggy. Appreciate it. Was it professional? I half the presentation I had my stupid face cam covering like most of the screen. I actually had it in the worst possible place. Okay. Yeah. Also, it's available on gonna be on YouTube, available on YouTube as soon as this is all over. And you'll be able to rewatch any parts you missed. Yeah. Okay, it looks maybe we can give the Twitch stream a minute to catch up. I think they're like 20 seconds behind. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. Thanks for coming out, boys. Y'all excited? Are you guys hype? Yeah. For like winter. That's rough. Yeah, she's doing a really good job. Honestly, we're waiting on me to add some content to it. But she's putting in some pro gamer widgets and stuff. I think Squarespace is having some issues with the plugins with Squarespace are kind of scuffed. And she like planned out a bunch of cool shit that she wanted to do before she even used Squarespace, and she realized like halfway through that she couldn't do any of it. So she had to learn like CSS and HTML just to get it working. Yeah, just really cool of her. I mean, she also did it for herself, but I like to think she just did it for me, you know? All right. Well, it looks like nobody in the Twitch chat has any. I should probably check the YouTube chat. I'm gonna check the YouTube chat. And yeah, dude, I'm double streaming. It's the real reason is we've lost stuff before because it didn't go to YouTube. So I just want to make sure it goes there automatically. Okay. Well, thank you everybody who's watched the streams. I'm gonna end it now, but ask any questions. Much love. GG.